Hello YouTubers, I have a little piece of information to share with y'all regarding an alternator problem. Alternator light. If you ever have a problem with your battery or alternator, but you fix either one of those, battery or alternator, and the lights still come on, there might be another problem. But first, let me just go ahead and go with the story of how this happened to me, this alternator problem. So about a month ago, I had my catalytic converter stolen. My vehicle is a 2003 Honda CRV, and so I was a victim of that thing that is happening right now, where low-lifes, deadbeats are snatching out catalytic converters. So anyways, I had mine stolen. I'm getting ready to go to work in the morning, turn on my car, and boom, it sounds like a NASCAR truck, very loud. And I'm thinking, what the hell is going on here? Turn it off and back on, and boom, again, just to make sure I wasn't dreaming, right? I get down from the car and look down, and sure enough, it's not there. It's just a space between the pipes. Okay, get back on my car and think about what I'm gonna do. Obviously, I drove it to work like that because I have to go to work. So anyways, I realized in the dashboard the speedometer is dead. I have no reading on how fast I'm going, and also my battery light is on. So I'm thinking, wow, I have no speedometer and no battery light. So I'm thinking maybe a wire got shredded from whenever they were taking out the converter, and then maybe the light it's on. My commute is about 2 hours back and forth from morning to night. I have two jobs, so I drive in the morning, then drive to the other job, and then drive back at night. So it took about 2 days for the battery to go dead, and I almost didn't make it home because I have music, I had lights on. So I realized everything was dimming, and even the power went down. So that's when I realized that indefinitely there was a problem with the alternator or the battery or whatever. So I got a battery charger to charge the battery so I could make it to the auto parts store. The representative helped me out. He checked the battery and did an alternator test, whatever. I said the battery was putting out the right voltage, so I could have a problem with the alternator. I had this car for about 4 years. I have put a lot of miles from driving it in road trips, and pretty much like from Dallas, Texas to Seattle, Washington. This truck has about 5 road trips back and forth. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's time for the alternator to go off. So okay, I got a new alternator. It was from AutoZone, but I got it new. So went ahead and I installed it. When I turned the car on, battery light's still on, and I'm thinking, well, maybe it's a wire, and I drove it again, until again the battery drained, and I almost didn't make it home again. So I'm thinking this time, I just went ahead and checked the fuses from the engine compartment, and I found nothing there. But I went ahead and checked under the inside of the vehicle on my fuse box under the vehicle, and there is this number 10 fuse that got blown out and is labeled as meter. So that was the fix, or that was my problem. The meter, which is a 10 fuse, that's what caused my I'm thinking it has to do with the battery output voltage meter. I don't know, but it fixed the problem. Right now I got the truck with the AC on, with the radio on, lights on. I'm gonna make sure that if it goes dead, it's right here where I live. So if something happens, it happens right here and not while I'm on the road. And so, but that's it. For anybody that ever has problems with an alternator, and then your light's still on, and the alternator is not charging the battery after you replaced it, check the fuses first, because I spent all along with the catalytic converter in the alternator, I ended up spending $1,000. I know now that I have a new alternator, and this truck has 236,000 miles, and I still have about 100,000 more service miles with this car. I'm pretty regular with the oil changes, spark plugs. I've done a lot of work to this truck. Radiator, condenser, shocks, brakes, joints. So this truck still has a lot of work for me. I love it, and I know it's going to give me more miles, about 100,000 before it really goes out. But yeah, that's the problem I had. It was just a fuse, and I wanted to share that piece of information. And I'm thinking that while the catalytic converter was getting sawed off, or while they're taking it out, they probably touched something, the frame, and it created sparks. And I'm thinking they grounded or they shorted these fuse. Now this fuse controls the speedometer and something with the battery. I'm not educated into that, but I have an idea that I knew from the beginning it was going to be some type of short or fuse. I just didn't have the time to go ahead and go through all of them, or read about it, or inform myself about it. So there it is. Check your fuses if you have a battery and alternator problem. Good day to all.